My name is Ada Okori, and I am about to tell you a story that will stay with you long after you've heard it. It's a story about my daughter, Grace, and a life I never imagined for her. You see, she grew up surrounded by unbelievable wealth, raised by a billionaire who had no idea he was family. But even with all the comfort and luxury in the world, one thing never changed. Grace always longed to know about her mother, me. By the time Grace turned 8 years old, she had everything a child could possibly dream of. Everything except the answer to the one question that echoed in her heart. Where is my mother? Grace's 8th birthday was an event straight out of a storybook. Chief Raymond Okafor, the kind billionaire who had taken her in and raised her as his own, spared absolutely no expense. The mansion was filled with colorful balloons that kissed the high ceilings, cakes so grand they looked like works of art, mountains of gifts wrapped in shiny paper, and the sound of children's laughter echoing through the halls. It was a perfect picture of happiness, but then came the moment for the cake. As the candles were lit, casting a warm glow on her hopeful face, everyone gathered around and began to sing happy birthday. Grace closed her eyes, her little hands clasped together, and made a wish. When she blew out the candles, a hush fell over the room. Chief Raymond leaned in, expecting to hear a wish for a pony or a new dollhouse. Instead, she whispered, so softly he almost missed it, "I want to see my mother." Those 5 words struck Chief Raymond like a physical blow. In that instant, all the noise and celebration faded away, and all he could see was the deep, unspoken sadness in the eyes of the little girl he adored. It broke his heart a little more than it already was. That night, long after the last guest had departed, and Grace was tucked safely into her bed, dreaming of a face she couldn't quite remember, Chief Raymond sat alone in his vast, silent study. The remnants of the party felt like a distant memory. He looked at a photograph of Grace on his desk, her bright, innocent smile looking back at him. He couldn't ignore her longing any longer. It was a void that no amount of money or gifts could ever fill. He made a solemn decision right then and there. He had to try. He had to find out the truth about Grace's past, no matter what it took. In the days that followed, something remarkable began to happen. It was as if Grace's birthday wish had unlocked a door in her mind. Small, fragmented memories started to surface. One afternoon, while playing with her nanny, she said thoughtfully, "I think my mama put a mark behind my ear." The nanny, intrigued, gently brushed Grace's hair aside, and there it was, a tiny, faint scar, almost invisible, a mark of a past life. The nanny rushed to tell Chief Raymond, her voice trembling with excitement. Later, Grace would say other things. "I remember her voice," she'd confide, her eyes distant. "I remember she was sad." These small memories were like pieces of a forgotten puzzle, scattered and incomplete. But they were a start. They were clues. And for Chief Raymond, they were fuel. Each little detail made him more determined, more resolute. He was going to help Grace find the answers she so desperately needed. The search began immediately. Chief Raymond, a man of immense resources and influence, hired a team of the best private investigators in the country. His instructions were clear. Find any record, any whisper of a lost child from the area where Grace was found 8 years ago. He wanted them to trace every faint hint of her past, to turn over every stone, no matter how small. Meanwhile, Grace's longing didn't fade. It became a constant, gentle hum in the background of their lives. Every time they were out and she saw a mother holding her child's hand or laughing with her daughter on a park bench, she would point and say with a hopeful sigh, "Maybe my mama looked like that." Her innocent observations were a constant, heart-wrenching reminder of the mission they were on. Her birthday wish remained the same year after year. Not for toys, not for trips, but for one simple, profound thing. "I want to find my mother." As the years passed, Grace grew from a curious child into a thoughtful young woman. Her bond with Chief Raymond deepened into something truly special. She loved him with all her heart, looking up to him as the only father she had ever known. And he, in turn, loved her fiercely as the daughter he never had, but was blessed to receive. They were a family in every sense of the word. But the shadow of her missing mother never completely disappeared. It was always there, a quiet, unanswered question hanging in the air between them. And on her 8th birthday, that shadow had grown too large, too dark to ignore any longer. It had forced them onto a path from which there was no turning back. Let's go back to that pivotal moment. Grace, holding a single, unlit candle from her birthday cake, looked at Chief Raymond, her eyes shining with hunched tears. "I wish to see my mama," she said again, her voice firm this time, not a whisper. It was a declaration. In that moment, Chief Raymond knew he couldn't keep her in the dark. He had to give her hope, a real promise. He gently led her into his study, the same room where he'd made his life-changing decision. He sat her down and spoke softly, his voice full of warmth and conviction. "Grace, we are going to find your mother. I don't know when, and I don't know how, but we will find her. I promise you." Grace looked up at the man, who was her entire world, and for the first time in a long time, a genuine, radiant smile spread across her face. "I know we will," she said, her voice filled with a newfound confidence. Because I still remember her face. Little did either of them know that one heartfelt birthday wish had set off a chain of events that could not be stopped. A chain that would lead them down a winding, treacherous road. A road that would bring me, Ada, back into my daughter's life. It was a path that would lead us all to truths so shocking, so profound, that none of us were ready to face them. And that is where our story truly begins. If you want to find out what happens next, how a billionaire's promise and a child's memory collide, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss the next episode of The Child I Rejected. Thank you for watching.